Another all-star start for the dynamic duo of Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne, who are 3 and 4 respectively among fan voters. Tonight, they face off against an Ottawa Senator team that has yet to win a game at the Arrowhead Pond. Can Craig Hartsburg's Mighty Ducks go unbeaten for the 10th time in 11 tries against the Sens? We'll find out next live here on Fox Sportsnet 2. Live from the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California, this is the National Hockey League. As tonight, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim close out the season series against the Ottawa Senators. Hello and welcome to Press Row. I'm Chris Matson alongside Brian Hayward. And Brian, along with my partner Brian Hayward, I'm Chris Matson. Welcome back inside the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, the second of 2 this season between the Ducks and the Senators.
And I love this goaltending matchup that we're going to see in tonight's game. Former teammates, former inaugural netminders, if you will, for the Mighty Ducks, Guy Hebert and Ron Tugnut. They remain real good friends. And as I mentioned in our pregame show, this one tonight not only is an important 2 points, but it's for the all-important bragging rights during the off-season as well.
2 points, 2 referees. Kerry Frazier and Mike Lego will be wearing the armbands tonight. Linesmen Mike Civic and Troy Sardison. Ottawa Senators an impressive 8 games over the 500 mark coming into this one. 22-14-6. Mighty Ducks 18-19-5 on the year.
And, you know, and maybe the impressive thing about the Senators, Chris, they're without their star player in Alexei Yashin, who remains a contract holdout, but they've also got a lot of key players injured and not playing in the games that the Senators seem to find a way to win games.
We'll take a look at that who's who list on the mash unit for the Senators a little bit later on in the telecast as the puck is sent up the far wing boards, and a nice read there at the Anaheim blue line. Breaking up the play was Jeff Nielsen as he tries to motor back the other way. Turnover inside the zone. Marshall, first man to the loose puck in the corner, glides aside from the on-rushing Magnus Arvidsson. Puck is kept inside the zone momentarily as it's batted around at the top of the circle.
Looks like a game of hot potato out there right now. And that puck just refuses to sit down. First whistle of the hockey game. That gives us a moment to take a look at our Lexus keys to tonight's game. Senators are a trapping team, and against them they give you very few quality scoring chances. Craig Hartsburg has been telling his players that they need to shoot from everywhere. Against a trapping hockey club, you have to attack that blue line with speed. And when these 2 teams met up in Ottawa earlier this year, the Ducks lost that game by a score of 4-2. The real reason why they lost was special teams performance, and that's an area that has been a sore point for Anaheim all season long. The quicker they get that turnaround, the better.
Turnover here. Brian back the other way. Turns Daniel Alfredson. Feeds on the wing. Slap shot upstairs taken by Sean McEachern right to the rail. Comes the rest at the half wall, and McEachern will pick it up out of the corner. Centering pass rattled in on goal, and Vinny Prospel is denied there by Guy Hebert as Solani's pass is just out of the reach of Paul Kariya. Centering pass deflects off the skate. Selanne collects and looks for support from Ole Teberdowski in the near corner. Out of the pack, Donato finds Kariya, loads up and shoots it on goal. And there, gliding to make the save, was Ron Tugnut.
But Paul Kariya has that ability to corral shots, even when he's kind of on his off swing, adjust his body and get the shot away. Stop it right here. Watch what Paul Kariya does. His shoulders are actually facing in this direction as he receives the pass. He'll right himself, square the shoulders up before he releases the shot. He does it so quickly. He manages to get the good low shot on goal. Unfortunately, it's directed right at the logo of Ron Tugnut. But you see, you know, people talk about footwork on the ice, and that's a pretty good example of quick feet on the behalf of Paul Kariya that allows him to get that shot away and on goal.
Kariya scored one of the 2 Anaheim goals in their first matchup earlier this year, November 13th at the Corral Center. Puck is rattled in on the heart around. Playing the Durham, Johan Davidson. He's bumped heavily along the far board by John Gruden. Puck is cycled down low. McGinnis tries to return the favor to Davidson. He's tied up by Gruden once again. With time out of the corner, controlling the puck is Joey Juneau. Pass deflects off the stick of Marian Hossa. Quickly up the wing it comes. Slap shot taken by McGinnis. Sails wide along the far boards. With time, the puck is volleyed out to center ice. And around it is Andre Waugh. At his own blue line. Former Mighty Duck Jason York quickly exchanges along the near boards. Grant Ledyard will send the puck in diagonally. First man to it is Kevin Holland. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to elapsed here in the opening period. Both clubs with a single shot on goal. Grimson supported by Cone. He rockets a slap shot wide of the mark, sloppily played by Cutnut into the corner. Loose puck comes direct to the top of the near circle as Tony Herkis throws his weight around, but collecting the loose puck and sending ahead was Andreas Deckel.
You know, general manager Pierre Gauthier from the Mighty Ducks was also the architect of this Ottawa team, and you do see a lot of similarities in how the clubs have been put together. Very mobile, back of the blue line defensemen, really like to handle the puck and join the rush.
Paul Kariya relegated to the backhand, spins to the forehand. Here's Tverdovsky with a shot that caught a body and dribbles into the Senators' crease. Hanging on is Ron Tugnutt. And what a fine start to this hockey game for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
We talked about defensemen joining the rush. Oleg Tverdovsky knows that when Paul Kariya is the puck handler, there's a very good chance that Kariya will be able to deliver the pass to him on his stick. So he gets a little bit more aggressive in these types of situations. What a great pass from Kariya. Shot actually never got through as it banked off the shin guards of Jani Laukkanen. That's one of the matchups we'll look for in tonight's game as well, Chris, and that's Laukkanen and York against Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne. We've seen that an awful lot in the past.
We'll also try to keep a gauge on the stamina of Kariya as he moves in on goal and whiffs on a terrific point-blank opportunity at the base of the circle. Kariya was excused from the morning skate due to a bout of the flu bug.
I said Laukkanen and York. I meant to say Laukkanen and Patrick Travers, the defensive combination that will see an awful lot of Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne in this game.
Well, Selanne collects the puck along the near board. At the blue line, puck caroms off the shaft of the stick of Paul Kariya. York will play a game of catch inside his own zone, and Wade Redden will lug the puck to his own blue line. Puck is chipped into an open area by Daniel Alfredson. His flight to the puck is cut off by the veteran Frederick Olesen as it's rifled up the far board. Good read by Sean McEachran, but he glides past a loose puck. 1-on-2, Nielsen comes up on the short end. York with it. Banks off the near boards, and Olesen returns the favor. Physical mismatch between McKenzie and York along the near boards. McKenzie prevails. Nielsen tries to center, fine recovery by the Ottawa defenseman. Just over 4 minutes have elapsed in this opening period. Mighty Ducks, the first of 6 out of 8 to be played here at the Arrowhead Pod of Anaheim. They'll go right back at it here Friday night against the St. Louis Blues. All right. Marv Levy is a 2-time Coach of the Year. He guided the Bills to an unprecedented 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances and the 11th winningest coach in NFL history. He's just part of the winning team that comprises NFL This Morning. It's Sunday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Net, followed by Fox NFL Sunday on your local Fox affiliate. Catch it this coming Sunday. It's NFL This Morning.
Well, we wondered about Paul Kariya. He is suffering from the flu bug. The one thing that a player will have to do in these situations, and Kariya gets an opportunity early on, head up, and the puck just seems to slip off the heel of his stick. So there's no question he's not at 100%. But Paul will really have to monitor his ice time, especially early in tonight's game. Keep the shifts nice and short, maybe as short as 30-35 seconds.
Well, he's certainly taking a regular shift to start this hockey game. This is his 3rd one in the first 4.5 minutes as Kariya spins a couple of times and delivers up the far wing boards to Trinket. Cut off in the neutral zone. Hossa rockets a shot off the stick of Oleg Tverdovsky, and the puck comes to rest along the far board. Turnover. Long shot seen all the way by Hebert, and he'll wisely take a whistle.
Ottawa is a quick team, and one of the things you can't afford to do when you're playing against a quick team that's set up in that neutral zone trap is make a lot of wide passes in the neutral zone. If you do, they're going to pick them off, and that's exactly what happened to Pavel Trinket right here. He makes a pass the width of the ice surface. Marian Hossa is sitting back there in kind of a prevent defense, if you will. He picks it up, delivers the shot. This kid's a good young player, playing with a real bad left wrist, and it almost looks like after taking that shot, he went immediately to talk to the team trainer. Calder Trophy runner-up last season, but I really thought that if not for the fact that Hossa had missed so many games early on, that he would have won the Calder. A lot of people draw comparisons between Hossa and the great Jaromir Jagr. Not a bad guy to be compared to.
Complete packages. the way you hear him described so many times by the out-of-town media. As the puck rolls into the near corner, we have a delayed penalty coming up here. It's touched by Anaheim, and apparently all that footwork in the corner is going to pay off for the Senators. The first power play of the game will be theirs.
Well, Sean McEachern put the hit on Kevin Haller, and Haller went head first into the boards. And I think everybody was expecting to get the call. See him throwing, anytime the player's shoulders are square to the boards and they go head first towards the glass, the players expect that a boarding call will be made. No call was made, but Haller was very upset about it. He responded with the forearm shiver to McEachern. The referee was standing just 10 feet away. So Kevin Haller takes the roughing penalty early on. Craig Hartsburg's going to have a little discussion with Kerry Fraser and wonder why the first infraction was not called. Fraser is over there, giving his version of the events.
The body language of Stu Grimson just sitting there shaking his head the whole time. So power play hockey for the Senators.
You know what? I've always thought that Kerry Fraser may be the best official in the National Hockey League. And I'm not a lip reader, but I did get the sense that he said, we might have let that one go, guys, but I can't let that kind of retaliation go unchecked.
On the near boards, Tverdovsky sees an opening. He'll bank off the near wing, and the Senators will have to go the full 200 feet.
And it's one of the things that I really like about Fraser. He's not afraid to go over to the bench, stand right in front of the players, and give his version of the events and his explanation as to why or why not in terms of calling a penalty. And it's so much nicer if you're a player on the ice when you don't understand something and you say to the official, well, why did you do this or why did you do that? If they talk to you, at least you feel better about it. And, even if you don't often get the answer that you really wanted to get in the first place.
Mighty Ducks of Anaheim come into this game 3 shorthanded goals in their last 4 games. You saw the drought in the first 38. Korea owns 2 of those, McGinnis the other. On the far boards, Hamilton rockets one upstairs, and look out. That one whistled off the top of the dasher and ran the length of the ice.
And in talking to assistant coach Neil Brown, the penalty kill has been a problem for the club, but he said, boy, it's sure nice to see some of those short-handed tallies going in and kind of level the playing field a little bit as well.
Along the far boards, puck is dragged to the heart of the blue line. Looking downstairs, it just escapes the grasp of Vinny Prospel. Puck is banked high in the air, and a 2-on-1 breakout the other way. Donato with McEachern in tow. He wisely sends ahead, and the redirect by Nielsen is swatted aside by Ron Tugnick. But again, a little bit of extracurricular activity in the arm upraised. We're going to get another penalty.
Sean McEachern was also in the vicinity. So was Ted Donato, and it'll be interesting to see if looks like it's going to be actually Daniel Alfredson who's going to get an interference penalty levied against him. There's a little bit of jousting going on between Donato and Alfredson right in front of the Senators bench. And I get the sense that all Alfredson really did was step in front of Ted Donato and prevent him from getting involved in the action. The referees have been given a mandate by the league to really cut down on the obstruction and interference, and the last penalty to Alfredson, a pretty good example of that. Not a lot of body contact, but Donato was not a puck carrier. He was trying to get back to his own bench, and Alfredson went out of his way to stand directly in front of him. Interfered with his path back to the bench, so Jacques Martin watches as he sees one of his players head to the box, and we get a little 4-on-4 hockey upcoming.
And he looks on anxiously, Brian, because 4-on-4 has not been kind to the Senators this season. They have given up 4 goals in this situation. Look at the spinorama move. Upstairs goes Cullen, and a blocker save by Tugnup. Along the backboard, Magnus Arvidsson spinning aside, looking for an option, sloppily played ahead, but out of harm's way, and brought out to center ice and rattled in by Radek Ball.
That was a great save by Tugnup because Cullen had all kinds of time. And I think that really showed the experience of the Ottawa netminder. He just simply outweighted Matt Cullen.
This game is a big test for Tugnup as well. He has not fared very well in his last 3 starts as the puck rolls out of the corner and back the other way comes Marian Hossa.
He hasn't finished the game in any of his last 3 starts. So you know what he's thinking, that he's got to get things back on track here personally, because Patrick Lalime has been a pleasant surprise in Ottawa this season and is really competing with Tugnup for the #1 starter's job.
So if you're curious why the Ottawa Senators played the puck back as they did, the original penalty to Haller is over, and now it's the Ducks on the power play for the next 45 seconds. Mike LeClaire, bank pass Solani. He's got a man harvesting out front. There you see Mike LeClaire setting the screen, and Teemu Solani trying to tuck one in on the short side.
You know, I spoke to Teemu Solani about 5:30 tonight on his way into the rink. And I said, well, Teemu, what's the good word? He said, I'm going to shoot the puck from everywhere tonight, especially on the power play. And I love to see Teemu, when he's on his off wing like this, bring the puck into the middle of the ice and put a quick snapshot on net. Even if it doesn't result in a goal, creates a lot of chaos down low. You talk about chaos, watch this little move. Great spinorama by Matt Cullen. Ron Tugnut just fanned out in the butterfly. He's got a good flat butterfly, and he basically challenged Matt Cullen to try and shoot that puck up high under the crossbar, and he couldn't deliver.
Anaheim with 30 seconds remaining on their first power play attempt of the game. Olesen surveys the situation. Korea's open at the heart of the blue line, but here it comes. The shot sails wide, and Korea will cover the far point. He tries to throw the puck in deep, at a fine read by Radek Bong, and the Ducks will have to go the full 200 feet.
Craig Hartsburg has been telling his power play players, just, you know, guys, just relax and let's start shooting it in every situation, even some unexpected situations. Let's put the puck on the net, and maybe we'll get a bounce or two that goes in our favor.
Puck goes skyrocketing up into the crowd, and Paul Kariya and the Ducks have just 4 seconds remaining on this abbreviated power play attempt.
Well, you know, I love the leadership that Paul Kariya shows in tonight's game by suiting up, because you look into his eyes and you know that he is nowhere near 100%. Suffering from the flu bug, spent all day in bed today. They wouldn't even let him dare go on the ice this morning. He was in such rough shape physically. He's out there and he's giving it his best, and he certainly hasn't looked out of position early on in this game.
Not at all, as the puck comes to rest at the top of the circle, picked off by Cullen, but he's greeted by McEachern. Turnover inside the zone. McEachern spots a wide open man at the line, and a slap shot taken by Patrick Travers is easily gloved and held by goaltender Guy Hebert. Senators with 4 shots on goal, the Ducks with 3.
There's a good look at Ron Tugnut. You know, interesting decision by the Senators last spring. They could only protect one of their 2 goaltenders. Would it be Ron Tugnut or would it be Damian Rhodes? They elected to protect Tugnut, and of course, Damian Rhodes ended up with the Atlanta Thrashers.
And Damian Rhodes had quite the history in Ottawa, the winningest goaltender in franchise history, as the puck is sent along the near boards, and the return pass up ice, looking for Alfredson, is just out of his reach. McGinnis to center ice. Cole, man draped all over him. Anaheim maintains possession at the blue line of Ottawa. Look at that pass. McGinnis accepting, shooting upstairs, but it was deflected into the glove hand of Ron Tugnut.
Pretty good puck movement early on. Hey, Mighty Ducks fans, cruise on over to the Arrowhead Pond on Wednesday, February the 9th, when the Ducks take on the Dallas Stars. All fans in attendance for that game will receive a Mighty Ducks Cruiser Cup, courtesy of Oscar's Restaurants. Tickets are still available. The Arrowhead Pond box office, all Ticketmaster locations, or by calling 714-703-2545.
Marty McGinnis with a terrific opportunity just inside the Ottawa blue line. He looks on as Anaheim prevails in the circle. That rebound gobbled up with the defense and swatted aside. Turning back the other way along the near boards is Joey Juneau. Loose puck, Donato. Reverse flow feed near corner. Juneau on the forecheck. Solani trying to send past the line. Second effort successful, this time by Olesen. And the puck is corralled back inside Ottawa territory with a head of steam blotting aside from Paul Kariya is John Gruden.
Well, this is a good matchup for Anaheim if they can get Kariya and Solani out on the ice and away from Jani Laukkanen. That's a matchup that I think Craig Hartsburg will take all game long.
Puck is cleared back inside Anaheim territory as Jacques Martin wants wholesale player changes. He'll change all 5. His goaltender Ron Tugnut. The puck hops over top of the short glass into the penalty box and will get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the approach that Jacques Martin has taken in this one. And in the past, whenever he plays a home game against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, he has the final change, of course, and he keeps the defensive pairing of Jason York and Jani Laukkanen together against Kariya and Solani. Tonight's game, he split that defense pairing up so that he has 2 sets of defensemen he can play against Anaheim Stars. Jacques Martin, the Jack Adams Award winner last season. Look at his record, 11 games above the 500 mark with the Ottawa Senators in relation to his predecessor behind the bench in Ottawa. Remarkable.
The puck comes to rest along the near boards and is sent it behind to Pavel Trinka.
Although most coaches will tell you it's tough when you're the coach of a first, second, or third year expansion team. Once you get into the 4th and 5th year, your players started to develop all your draft picks.
Magnus Arvidsson is the man on the ice as Matt Cullen works him over from behind. Puck squirts free, comes to rest in the right offensive corner, and Arvidsson still warding off Cullen from behind as it's swatted back the line. Slap shot taken by Grant Ledyard, and a fine play by Jeff Nielsen to time it just right. Under 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play here in the opening period. Senators with 5 shots on 4 rather for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Here comes Nielsen. Turning inside the zone. He gets pinned up along the near wing boards as Oleg Tverodovsky pulls the puck out of the pad. Returning the favor and sending the side. Radek Bonk spots a wide open man, but again Jacques Martin wants to complete the line change, so Sean McEachern is the only man in deep for the Sens. Here comes Stu Grimson. Well, he found the net in the Ducks' last outing. Now that he's had a taste of that for the first time in some 88 games, perhaps he'll bid for another here tonight.
Well, Anaheim's starting to pick up the physical part of tonight's game. Jason Marston, in particular, the last couple of shifts, has had 2 real good bumps on both shifts. That's one way to slow down the Senators.
Another guy that's been feisty in the corners has been Ladislav Cohn as he takes the body again. Senators the puck, and Guy Hebert will await the arrival of Nicholas Hamilton. No, instead, he'll quickly headman to Marshall. Inside the zone, Wade Redden stops on a dime and loses Ladislav Cohn in the process. Brought in over the line, Alfredson. Drop pass, slap shot upstairs by Laukkanen, and it sails all the way back inside Senator territory. Notice the peek over the shoulder by McInnes. Looking for help. He wires a shot upstairs. Tugnet went down, the shot went up, but it missed everything.
And you get the message that the message from Craig Hartsburg has been received. Players are definitely thinking shoot first, pass later whenever they get inside Ottawa territory, and I like it. I like to see it. You know, even if you don't score, it sure creates stuff in front of the opponent's net.
Senators coming off a big victory last night against the LA Kings. Over the line, Hamilton shot, rockets off the body into the near corner. Jason York lined up by McInnes. He avoids a bump and turns it over. Tip-in attempt by Johan Davidson, and Tugnutt made the save. Shots now even at 5 apiece. York on the turnaround. Will send it past his man at the far point, but the Ducks just keep on bringing the hits.
And Jason York just got clocked by big Mike LeClaire up front. Tremendous forechecking pressure right now being applied by Anaheim.
Drop pass, Solani looking for Korea. The swat on the side by back-checking Joey Juneau. Counter punching back the other way, Marian Hossa. Floats a shot in on goal, and Guy Hebert will hang on. But moments ago, Guy Hebert had a bird's-eye view of a grade A opportunity for the Ducks. Get ready, folks. Here it comes on Fox Sportsnet 2.
And, you know, this is the type of game, you know, that the captain, Paul Correa, is under the weather a little bit, where Teemu Solani really has to pick it up a notch and say, okay, Paul's not at 100%, but there's no reason for me not to really take charge of things.
So Teemu gave his teammate Pavel Trinka a bit of a nudge with the right elbow. Players get stacked up on the perimeter of the circle. Falls face off, and they will try it again as Mike Civic chases Radek Bonk out, and stepping in will be Magnus Arvidsson. Donato remains in the circle for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Loose puck comes to rest at the line. Raveled in deep on the hard-around by Jani Laukkanen. Trinka takes the body, sends the puck. Look out here. Great A opportunity for Bonk, and Guy Hebert made a spectacular save.
And did you see how Guy Hebert stopped that puck standing on his feet? And I've maintained from day one here that you can always tell when Hebert is in that zone.
Look out here. Anaheim forces the issue back the other way as Donato spotted Paul Correa at the top of the crease. And what an interesting 13.5 minutes it has been for Paul Correa.
It appears that Ron Tugnutt is also in that zone right now. Again, good forechecking pressure by Teemu Selanne. Steals away a puck and sets up Paul Correa on the doorstep. Ron Tugnutt makes a fine save there. And here's the stop by Guy Hebert. See the short little challenge? Watches the puck all the way into his body. When Guy Hebert is making saves, standing up on his feet, it's a good indication that he really feels comfortable playing that game.
Hebert career-wise against the Senators, an impressive 3-1-2 with a stingy 1.93 goals against average. Puck is played across Nicholas Haviland with a head of steam. To the blue line, Donato back to Selanne, just rolled off the toe of his stick. He's neutralized along the backboards, and the Senators, McEachern will counterpunch quickly through center ice. 2-on-3, Senators on the short end. Puck is sent around by Haviland. Redden's pass collides with his own teammate McEachern, but Redden, cool under pressure, will send ahead as the puck is rifled up the near boards by Vinny Prospal. Haviland volleys the puck over top of the glass up into the crowd, and we have 5:39 remaining here in the opening period. Stay with us for much more on Fox Sportsnet 2.
That's quite a pace to start this hockey game tonight. Boy, we're not quite 15 minutes in. And thankfully, there appears to be an awful lot of skating room in the neutral zone tonight. Both clubs attacking the blue line with a tremendous amount of speed.
Both clubs with the same amount of shots on goal thus far, with 7. Face off to the right of goaltender Guy Hebert. Matt Cullen will be on the draw for the Ducks this time. He'll square off against Magnus Arvidsson. Mike Sivic conducting the draw. Players cheating just a little bit as it's pulled back and the Ducks corral it. McKenzie forces a pass in traffic. This puck is brought down by the Senators and delivered back to Kevin Holland. Right up the middle of the ice, a 2-line offside pass will negate the play.
Well, both teams have had some pretty good scoring chances in this one. I think the best chances definitely have belonged to the Mighty Ducks. They just haven't been able to find a way to get that puck in behind Ron Tugnutt. Early on, Paul Correa, a quick little wrist shot, and later on a beautiful play here by Correa as he spots Oleg Tverdovsky. A lot of shots aren't getting through, or they seem to be hitting Tugnutt right in the logo. That, I think, was Tugnutt's best save of the night against Matt Cullen. Also made a pretty good stop against Teemu Selanne and Paul Correa on the doorstep. But the save on Cullen to me was very impressive because Tugnutt just seemed so in control and so well balanced in that crease.
Along with your host, Bill McDonough, Brian Hayward, I'm Chris Mattson, welcoming you back inside the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. To remind you, Bill McDonough's guest during our first intermission will be Mike LeClaire as the puck comes to rest along the backboards, and York spots a wide open man along the near wing board. Taking refuge in behind his own net, Grant Ledyard will send and take back. Quickly picked up by Cullen. Niftily, he poke checks the puck aside, tries to the net, back to the inside. He tried to pull to the forehand and lost control. Long wrist shot by Haller is tipped a couple of times, but wide of a mark. Along the backboards, Cullen with it. No look pass to McKenzie. Read well by Ron Tugnutt as he cuts off that pass intended for McKenzie at the top of the crease. Oregon State defeated 3 top 10 teams at home last year: Stanford, UCLA, and Arizona. Now gets set for a big showdown as number 3 Stanford takes on Oregon State in men's basketball beginning tomorrow night at 7:30. Catch all the hardcourt action beginning at 7:30 on Fox Sports Net. Face off to the left of Ron Tugnutt in a scoreless duel with 4:33 remaining.
You know, this is the part of the game where you really miss a guy like Steve Urchin. He takes all the big draws with the Ducks. Marty McGinnis does a nice job here.
Oh, look at Ron Tugnutt. Looked very uncomfortable in responding to that shot that appeared to be tipped en route.
Yeah, it's a good job by Tugnutt because definitely this puck changes direction just at the last minute. Watch as it goes back to the point. Olsson does a nice job of taking the space that the Senators give him. And there's the tip. It actually bounces off of the ice. Boy, that's a tough break for Anaheim. Because look at how wide apart the feet are spread of Tugnutt. And when this puck bounces, if it stays along the ice, I guarantee you, it goes right between the wickets. Tugnutt gets a bit of a break there in the sense that the puck bounced a good 1.5 feet off the ice.
Marty McGinnis has had a couple of fine scoring chances here in this first period of play. There you see his output over the course of the last 9 games. Stepping in, McGinnis on the draw. He's got Davidson to his right, LeClaire to his left. Haviland and Olsson back at the line. Falls face-off. They're going to try it again. Boy, the linesmen have been in no particular hurry to drop the puck here in the opening period.
Sometimes I feel the linesmen take their jobs a little bit too seriously. Put the puck on the ice and let the players work things out.
What I don't understand, though, especially on that draw, though, Brian, it's the visiting team that has to show their hand first. They have to put their stick down in that little white patch on the circle. But it seems as though McGinnis, on the encounters that I've seen here tonight, he's been the first man with the stick down. He hasn't waited for the opposition to sort of show their hand a little bit. The puck is worked along the near wing boards and swatted ahead by Sean Van Allen.
Well, some guys don't put much into whether or not they're first or second down. You know, they're just relying strictly on instinct. And I think Marty McGinnis is that type of a centerman. I don't think he goes in with a definite strategy to counter the player that he's matched up against.
Marian Hossa volleys ahead. Here comes McHenry. Long rising wrist shot. Aber just waved at it with his right shoulder. The puck carries all the way back out to center ice. It'll be interesting to see what the hit count will be at the end of this opening period, because the Ducks have certainly taken the body here in the opening 16.5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and it's a very sound strategy, especially when you're playing against a team that played last night.
Aber turns to the side. Tverdovsky gobbles up the loose puck. Sheemy steps around a couple of players and sends ahead to Paul Kariya. Now Solani had snuck in behind the defense, but the pass was just too far behind him. Kariya hooked down to the ice. And you see Vinny Prospero pleading his case, but in this case, Mike Lego just won't buy into it. He's going to be the man making the call, and the Ducks will be on the power play for a full 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's not much question about this, and it's actually, I think, a good penalty by Vinny Prospero, because there's the turnover by the youngster Wade Redden. You see Kariya's got a step on Prospero. He embellishes it. Paul's never been one of those real good actors, has he? But there was definitely a hook there by Prospero. The Ducks head out onto the power play for the next 2 minutes. Let's see if this power play can get on track.
Surprising, though, when you consider he's probably the only player on the ice that has a Screen Actors Guild card in his wallet.
That's right, for his appearances in the Mighty Ducks movie.
Mighty Ducks 3. Which he recently named, by the way, as one of his 5 all-time favorite films.
Go figure.
Face off to the left of goaltender Ron Tugnutt. McGinnis, Kariya, Solani across the top. Now Leclerc will step up, and Kariya will drift back to the far point. As McGinnis spots a wide open Olesen, he'll work it across. Kariya's long shot chipped wide by Leclerc. Solani corrals a loose puck and glides to the top of the near circle. Kariya hits the seam, gears one in on goal, and it's chopped down by Ron Tugnutt and steered aside, but not out by the Senators' defense. Solani to McGinnis. He's got Kariya up the gut. Here it comes, the shot. Solani corrals the rebound and quickly exchanges. Olesen shooting, saved by Tugnutt, and he corrals the rebound. Tremendous pressure in the opening 36 seconds of this power play advantage for the Ducks.
Yeah, great puck movement, and they've been able to penetrate the 4-man box of the Senators. Whenever you can do that, you usually get pretty good scoring chances as a result. Here's the last opportunity. Teemu Solani head up looking for a potential pass receiver, and here's the pass by Solani. Stop it right here. Look at this Ottawa penalty killer. There's no way he should be that far away from his net. Too much space, too much of a passing lane here for Solani. He gets it across to Kariya. Quick little snapshot. Unfortunately, it actually took a bite out of Mike Leclerc en route to the net.
Kariya to Olesen. He winds, he cranks a shot in on goal. And a high rolling rebound is played by Solani to the top of the circle, and out of bounds made by Radek Ball.
Now, I'm really surprised with these Ottawa penalty killers. They seem to be so high on the Anaheim points, and yet they're not right on top of the Duck defensemen. As a result, the Duck point men are able to get their shots through, and there is an outnumbered situation down right in front of the Ottawa goal crews.
All 3 leading scorers on the power play for the Ducks on the ice right now. Kariya leads every player in the Ducks lineup on the man advantage with 11 points, followed by McGinnis and Solani with 9 points apiece.
You know the difference for Ottawa, however? Anaheim gets 1 shot, and then the puck gets cleared. This Ottawa defense does a nice job of boxing people out in front of Ron Tugnutt. There's no short rebounds lying around.
2 shots on goal for the Ducks thus far here on the power play. Look out. Senators have 3 shorthanded goals. They bid for another as that one is blocked down by Paul Kariya on the wrist shot taken by Daniel Alfredson. Alfredson with some nifty moves in the neutral zone. Sidesteps a couple of Mighty Ducks players and grinds the clock down to the final 5 seconds of this power play. Pass in the high slot by Cullen is played out to center ice, and that'll do it. The Ducks come up empty on the power play despite 2 quality shots on goal. Drop pass, top of the circle. Cole on the follow-up. He's got a man open at the line. Spins and shoots in on goal, and a toe save by Tugnutt, played into the corner. Centering pass. Scooped up just out of the reach of Ladislav Dolan and played off the far wing boards by Joey Juneau.
I love the approach that Anaheim has taken in this opening period. They're really by far, you know, the aggressor in this hockey game. They're dictating the style and the pace of play, and that's what you want to do when you're playing at home.
Sean McEachern all wrapped up along the near boards as Tony Herkus quickly steers the puck back in Ron Tugnutt's direction. York on the reverse flow feed to Redden. Stripped to the puck, centering pass by Marty McGinnis, just topped over the stick of Mike Leclerc.
It's also been a very aggressive forechecking period from the Mighty Ducks, and they've been successful in forcing an awful lot of turnovers down low, below the tops of the circles in Ottawa territory. Good, solid 20 minutes from Anaheim. The only problem they're having at this point in the game, quite honestly, is finding a way to solve Ron Tugnutt. And I think they also need to hang around and be a little bit more aggressive and maybe get to 1 or 2 of those short rebounds in front of the Ottawa netminder.
Well, perhaps that will become more and more apparent as this game progresses. Senators playing their second game inside of 24 hours. But when we return, Billy McDonald's special guest will be Mike Leclerc of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. You're watching the NHL on Fox Sportsnet 2.
You know, Chris, we mentioned in our open that Teemu Selanne has just been named to his 7th consecutive All-Star team. Now, from the start of a person's career, that puts him number 2 all-time on the list. Look at Wayne Gretzky. 18 consecutive All-Star game appearances from the start of his career. Well, there's a mark for Teemu to shoot for.
How about it? Incredible numbers put up by Wayne Gretzky. I got to tell you, Brian, I miss him. You know?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, whenever Gretzky came into a building, even in the later stages of his career, there was a buzz in the air. People, I think, recognized that they were going to be given the opportunity to see probably the greatest player to ever lace up a pair of skates. How could you not miss him?
I'll tell you, just spectacular as the puck rolls into the near corner. Kevin Haller looking for the loose puck to come out of the pack. Give and go, feed down low. Wanting the return pass out front was Kevin Dineen, and it just topped over his stick. He tried to accept the pass on the backhand, and then Guy Hebert did a terrific job on the follow-up.
Yeah, Guy Hebert did a nice job with the goal stick here, and quite often these types of plays often go unnoticed around the net. Stop it right there. Guy Hebert just got a little bit of a tip. He managed to deflect that puck out of the way. Stop it. See that little deflection right there with the tip of the goal stick? Well, it keeps the puck away from the Ottawa forward, puts it back in the hands of Wade Redden, who's back near the blue line. Goalies can really help themselves out an awful lot if they can keep pucks from going anywhere through that blue semicircle called the crease. It allows their defensemen to play a little bit further out in front of them if they know the goaltender is proficient with that goal stick.
Ducks come into this game, 10 wins, 8 losses, 3 ties here at the Arrowhead Pod of Anaheim. Senators on a roll on the road. They have won their last 3 games, are undefeated in their last 4. The puck is sent up the far wing board. Selanne hits a streaking Ted Donato, and it just eludes his grasp. Along the boards, wrist shot taken by Trinket, caroms off the body. Vinny Prospero hounded by Paul Kariya in the corner. Now Donato strips him of the loose puck. Nifty poke check along the far boards by McEachern, and the puck comes to rest along the far wing. Here comes Selanne looking for an option. Finds one in Kariya. A little tug on the sweater by Alfredson knocks him off the puck. And the Senators looking for an option will send the puck in deep.
Boy, you know, you watch Paul Kariya, and it's hard to believe that he's playing with the flu tonight because he still has a tremendous amount of jump in his legs.
Led all players on the ice and shots on goal in the opening period with 4. The next closest man to him in that category was Marty McGinnis with 3. McGinnis looking for a loose puck. It comes to rest along the backboards. Grant Ledyard will send up the wing out of the reach of Sean Van Allen. Picked off by Mike Leclerc and sent ahead by Johan Davidson. Leclerc again with a very aggressive forecheck for Anaheim. Stripping his man of the puck, McGinnis looks for some room, spins and shoots wide of the mark as Ron Tugnutt was trying to find the puck out of the pack. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second period, and the Ducks picking right up from where they left off in the opening period as the puck is sent back to the far point, and Frederick Olofsson will play to an open area. 2-on-1 quickly. Davidson to McGinnis, trying to gear up on the forehand, but the puck was rolling all the way. Slap shot by Haviland is sent wide. Senators to the Anaheim blue line, where Van Allen is denied. And you can tell the crowd here tonight really appreciating the effort that the Ducks have put forth through the first 23 minutes of this hockey game.
Yeah, the crowd's responding. Score remains tied, however, as the Senators bend but don't break.
Wrist shot is batted down by Big Stu Grimson. Puck is set across the ice by Andreas Dackel. Comes to rest at the red line, and again Anaheim aggressively takes the body and takes the Senators off the puck.
Well, Ottawa has turned the puck over an awful lot.
They've done it again. Slap shot by Herkis, and Swami. That time Herkis almost solved Ron Tugnutt from between the circles.
A couple of good scoring chances for the Mighty Ducks. Tony Herkis steps into a lane, intercepts a pass, and gets a pretty good shot on goal. I mentioned that the Senators have turned the puck over. They turned it over to Tony Herkis right here, but Ron Tugnutt was in great position at the top of the goal crease. But, you know, moments earlier, I want to show you a little play here by Mike Leclerc down low, and it's a way for him to create some space for Marty McGinnis. Stop it right here. Watch Leclerc. He is preparing to set a pick on one of the Ottawa players. There's the pick. There's the space for McGinnis. Problem is he can't put the puck on the goal, but Mike Leclerc's had a real strong night tonight.
So, Brian, I'm certain many of our fans are curious. Is that perhaps a byproduct of a team that plays 2 games inside of 24 hours? All the turnovers?
The turnover, I think, definitely is a result of a little bit of fatigue on the part of the Senators. But, you know, I give a lot of credit to the Ducks. They have thrown a real nice forechecking game at Ottawa so far tonight. And, you know, you got to really maintain it, because the one thing about the Senators is that they have that quick strike capability. And that quick strike capability is what you fear most from them.
Well, host Jim Rome was recently voted the 75th most powerful person in sports by the Sporting News. And tonight, his guest will be Lakers Executive Vice President Jerry West. It's all coming up at midnight on Fox Sports Net. The Last Word with Jimmy Rome. 75th.
I bet the 100 or so owners of professional sports franchises around North America really appreciate that.
Well, one took note, and he's going to be on the show tonight as the puck is punched up along the backboards and registered as an icing call against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim with 16:25 to play in the second period.
When talking to Teemu Selanne before the game, I said, well, what do you think, big fella? You got any magic in those hands tonight? He just kind of grinned. And he may be one of the most engaging players you've ever met in your life. And he said, boy, I hope so. It's time to get going here.
Teemu Selanne comes into this game 16 goals, second most on the Ducks roster to Paul Kariya's 18. Had some opportunities in the opening period, registered a shot on goal. Face off to the left of goaltender Guy Hebert, and the puck is sent out of the pack by Kevin Dineen wide of the mark. Wrist shot blocked down by the Anaheim defense, taken back at the line and backpedaling, shooting it on goal. There's Guy Hebert to thwart Radek Bonk, and quickly here comes Selanne with speed through the neutral zone. Tries to step around Laukkanen, looking for Kariya, and Selanne trying to maintain possession of the puck while gliding on a single skate. Lost possession of it, and Dineen rattles one back in Guy Hebert's direction. On the near board, Dineen on the forecheck. Trinka sees a seam. Kariya to Donato. 3-on-2 back the other way. Drop pass to Donato, looking to Selanne, and one drop pass too many is collected by Radek Bonk and delivered out to center ice. 3-on-2 for Ottawa. Picked up by Wade Redden. Gingerly placed in behind Guy Hebert. The puck is poke checked aside by Ted Donato. Turnover, shot, kick save, Guy Hebert. And that one just came out of nowhere as Redden stepped up on the play.
Now all of a sudden the Senators getting their chances.
York Rockets one off the shoulder of his former teammate Guy Hebert, and the puck is centered off the base of the net, corralled by Haller and set up the following board.
You know, 3 of the last 4 real good opportunities have belonged to Ottawa. And all of a sudden you sense that the Senators have found their legs.
Brought back the other way. McEachern gets a peek over his shoulder. He gets an eyeful of Frederick Olesen as the puck is sent on the reverse flow feed. Prospo to Alfredson. Olesen picks up Alfredson out of the corner. Lowers the boom on him as Prospo from a prone position spots McEachern in the corner. Driving up the middle of the ice, wanting the puck was John Gruden. Puck comes direct to the near corner. Right now, the ice appears a little bit tilted as the Senators bring it Anaheim's way, but the Ducks dodge the bullet once again.
Yeah, the Ottawa defense starting to get very active in terms of joining plays in the offensive zone. And that's going to force the Mighty Ducks forwards to be ultra alert here. They have got to stay with those point men when they come down low. It all gets back to that whole issue of mobility on the blue line. Anaheim has got it this season. The Senators are one of the teams in the NHL that everyone points to as being the reason why most clubs see it as essential.
1-on-3. Senators inside the zone looking for Sean Van Allen. Picked off by Tverdovsky, and a breakaway pass to Ladislav Cohn just eludes him. Stu Grimson worked over by Sean Van Allen. Cohn to Herkes, moving up over the line. His wrist shot deflects off a body. Puck is corralled by Grant Ledyard and sent on the heart around back out to center ice. 13-12 the shots on goal favoring the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. As we get a pause of the action, we'll step out for a moment. 13:36 to play, second period. Jacques Martin behind the Ottawa Senators bench. His club has picked up points, Brian, in 13 of their last 15 games. As they get set for a draw at center ice, Frederick Olesen looking on anxiously. Puck is delivered in deep, and Guillet will leave. Olesen tripped up from behind, maintains possession in the corner, and rifles a backhand pass just out of the reach of Jim McKenzie.
You know, and that record that you just talked about, Chris, all more impressive given the injury situation in Ottawa. I mean, forget about Alexei Yashin not being part of the program, but, you know, a good youngster Mike Fisher out with a knee injury. Marian Hossa playing injured tonight with a left wrist problem. Chris Phillips gone for a while, probably gone for another month because of ankle surgery. Sammy Salo is out with a fractured left wrist. A real nice defensive center, Rob Zamner, out of the lineup with an MCL sprain. So despite all of those problems injury-wise, and all of those players play pretty significant roles, the Senators just continue to chug along.
Chug along with great proficiency. In fact, the last time they have lost a game in regulation prior to the loss Friday against the Buffalo Sabres was back on the 18th of December. They've lost one in overtime, but other than that, they have been impressive. Puck brought in over the line, looking for an option. There's the pass up ice intended for Andreas Dackel. It's batted out of midair up into the crowd, so we will lose a puck but gain a face-off.
A reminder, fans, that you can order your Pizza Hut pizza today and enter to win the Duck Trap sweepstakes, courtesy of Pizza Hut and Ericsson mobile phones. You can win 2 tickets in the Duck Trap at an upcoming Mighty Ducks game and an Ericsson mobile phone. So order your Pizza Hut pizza today. We'll see you in the Duck Trap.
Was sorry to realize, following a recent order to Pizza Hut, that we are not eligible for that giveaway. Read all the fine print.
That's that legal training.
That's right.
That I know one day you're going to end up in a courtroom one of these days. I know you are.
Yeah, on charges of what I have no idea. Face off to the right of goaltender Guillet. False face off. They'll try it again. So 12:54 to go in the second period, and Ted Donato has put forth a very spirited performance thus far in this game.
Craig Hartsburg was talking earlier today about the job Donato has done centering Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne in Steve Ruchin's absence. An awful lot of nice things to say. It is not an easy role because everybody expects you to instantaneously be productive and at the same time take care of business in the defensive zone. Donato's done a nice job.
Donato again steps right up in the neutral zone as that outlet pass from Gruden was intended for Radek Bonk at the Anaheim blue line. Dineen steps around Trinka. A little tug on the sweater from behind by Trinka knocks Dineen off the loose puck, but tremendous puck pursuit shown here by the Senators as it's finally given up by Magnus Arvidsson. Yes, out of the reach of Paul Kariya. Glides back the other way. Oh, Solani got hit hard in the far corner, and as it's touched by the Senators, the result is going to be an icing call against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Last shift for the Senators. We were admiring the handiwork of the veteran, Kevin Dineen. Kind of an interesting story on Dineen. He's been with a whole bunch of teams in this league, but a real veteran leader for this squad. He's heading over to the Senators bench. There's Kevin. He actually was the captain of 3 different teams in the league. Originally with the Hartford Whalers, and he moved on to the Philadelphia Flyers and the Carolina Hurricane.
Dineen right now a mainstay in this Ottawa Senators lineup. He's moved up a notch or two on the lineup card as Colin Forbes was a scratch here this evening. Puck is rattled in on the hard around, and again Kevin Haller drives past the loose puck, and Daniel Alfredson will step in his way. Out of the corner, Marshall wires a pass intended for Marty McInnes well out of his reach, and back to touch is Grant Ledyard, and the result will be good ice position for the Senators on the ensuing faceoff.
Well, Jason Marshall had possession of the puck, and he really had nowhere to go with it. You can see him talking to his defense partner Kevin Haller right now, but Ottawa does a good job of shutting down any kind of short side passing options. They'll give you the far side of the rink, but they throw the temptation out there in front of you. We're going to force you to make a cross ice pass in the defensive zone. Jason Marshall wouldn't bite on that challenge. In that situation, it's a real smart play by Marshall. Even though the puck goes down the length of the ice and goes for icing, he doesn't get himself into any trouble whatsoever.
Face off to the right of goaltender Guy Hebert is collected by Solani and given up at the blue line to Grant Ledyard. Puck rolls back deep inside Anaheim territory as Hebert corrals and leaves for Oleg Tverdovsky. He tries to step aside from Daniel Alfredson. Chips the puck up ice. Paul Kariya cannot cleanly play it. York intercepts and sends to the left wing board. Ted Donato for Anaheim. 3-on-3. Slaps on Solani. What a kick save by Ron Tugnutt as Solani caught that puck in full flight.
Yeah, Teemu was in full stride, and he unloaded a bomb. I think that one just hit Tugnutt.
Prosper delivers up the left wing boards, and driving up the middle of the ice, Sean McEachern was looking for a rebound, but the shot was just too far upstairs. 9 minutes have elapsed here in the second period. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. That shot by Solani was their first since the 7:30 mark, dating back to the previous period. Along the near boards. Opportunity, Redden. Bank pass, up the wing, Van Allen. Here comes Johan Davidson. He tries to pick up a loose puck in the corner as Redden angles him out of the play. Now Redden takes the body. The puck is corralled on the wing by Marian Hossa and sent back out to center ice for Sean Van Allen. Puck is sent up the wing. McInnes intercepts for Anaheim. Turns it over. Van Allen surveys, delivers, and a swing and a miss by Joey Juneau. Anaheim counter punches 3-on-3. Davidson leaves in the corner. McInnes looking for the return pass. Gets it from LeClaire and then is stripped of the loose puck as Patrick Travers will send out to center ice.
The other thing you really notice about this Ottawa defense is that when they get possession of the puck, the feet are moving. Nobody is stationary. Their first movement is forward in the defensive zone. Here's a nice little pass here by Ted Donato. Just slips it in behind Daniel Alfredson. Teemu Solani jumps into the hole and unloads a rocket. Watch this save by Tugnutt. But a great read by the Ottawa goaltender. You see how aggressive he is. Good 3-4 feet out in front of the crease. And Solani, I think, just blew it right into his pads.
Solani averaging a point a game lifetime against the Sens as a long rising wrist shot by Haller comes to rest along the backboard. Centering pass, Grimson looking for Herkus. Cut off with the defense by Travers. Puck rolls just outside the blue line where Kevin Haller will spin and deliver back up ice. Travers gives way to Herkus. Back in his own zone, Yanni Laukkonen will take refuge in behind his own net with 9 minutes 30 seconds remaining here in the second period of play. On the wing, Vladislav Cone in behind his own net, dangerously moves up the middle of the ice. As he was forechecked heavily on the play, he gets a little bit of help from Kevin Haller. Hebert plays the two-hopper and steers aside to Kevin Haller as Jacques Martin completes a line change. At center ice, Jason York turns it over. Here comes Nielsen, snapping up a wrist shot that is blocked down by Grant Ledyard. In pursuit of the puck, Cullen. At the far point, Oleg Tverdovsky, too well covered as the Senators just play the puck out to the neutral zone, and Haviland will wait for players to step back outside.
That's a nice play by Oleg Tverdovsky to move the puck back to Nicholas Haviland. Anaheim's defense has done a real nice job in completing a high percentage of their passes moving up ice tonight.
Ottawa Senators have outshot the Ducks 6-2 here in the second period as Tverdovsky takes the body and cleanly rubs out his man along the backboard. Hebert watches the play develop out of the corner. Along the backboard, looking for an opportunity. Magnus Arvidsson is stripped of the loose puck, and back comes Anaheim's Haviland, jumping up on the play. Kevin Dineen plays the puck into an open area as a centering pass down low by Nielsen is picked off and cleared back the other way. Bonk stepping up over the line, hits the last man in. Upstairs it comes, and Daniel Alfredsson just missed. At the line, John Gruden holds his ground. McEachern, side of the net, shot save. Hebert crashing the net as Daniel Alfredsson, and Jim McKenzie throws him down like a rag doll on Fox Sportsnet 2.
Well, take a look at maybe the best Ottawa scoring chance in this hockey game. He's not in your picture right now, but in comes Daniel Alfredsson. He comes in late, gets away from Matt Cullen, and boy, Alfredsson is a sniper. He brought that puck quickly to the forehand, just drifted it over top of the crossbar.
Alfredsson with better than a point a game this season as the puck comes to rest along the far board. Solani takes the body. Puck controlled by the Senators as that slap shot by Laukkonen is confidently played aside by Guy Hebert. Out of the corner, Tverdovsky's pass intended for Solani, deflects to Correa. Solani is snuck in behind the defense, but Correa cannot make its way to him. There's the drop pass. Solani back up the slot. Donato with a wrist shot and a save by Rob Tugnutt.
Boy, you talk about making something out of nothing. That was actually a 2-against-4 rush for Correa and Solani as they approach the Ottawa blue line.
Puck breaks free into the corner, and Vinny Prospo will send ahead. It's worked out of the near wing boards by Daniel Alfredsson and controlled by Anaheim's Oleg Tverdovsky. Less than 7 minutes to play here in the second period. We remain scoreless as the puck is worked up the middle of the ice. Ted Donato takes the body. Hossa coughs it up. Anaheim gives it right back in the high slot as Hossa drives to the net, tries to get off a wrist shot, and stepping up on him was Nicholas Haviland. Puck is set just outside Anaheim's territory as the Senators wait for Sean Van Allen to step back outside. They give it up to Nicholas Haviland.
One of the Anaheim players who has really caught my eye tonight has been Nicholas Haviland. He's having a very strong game. You know, Haviland just moments ago made a real nice play on Marian Hossa. Hossa had possession of the puck, and he has got a rocket of a wrist shot, but watch the approach taken by Haviland. Stop it right here. Here's Haviland. Look at the distance between him and Hossa, but watch the kind of pressure he can put on him because of his quickness. Good first step forward. He got a little bit of help there from Mike Leclerc, who was hooking up Hossa from behind. But as a goaltender, I always wanted my defensemen to make sure that they were moving forward and challenging the shooters. If the puck goes through a screen and goes into the net, you know, that's going to happen periodically, but you don't want to give anyone, especially someone with the talents of a Hossa, an uncontested shot from the middle of the ice.
Pass through the neutral zone by Leclerc is corralled and sent back inside Ottawa territory. Jason York drawing a crowd in the corner, wisely plays the puck the opposite way as the Senators step up to the Anaheim blue line. 17-15 shots on goal advantage for Ottawa. They put forth 9 shots already here in the second period. That's more than they had in the entire opening period of play. Along the backboards, stepping aside, Magnus Arvidsson. right up the middle of the ice. Nifty stick work there by Andreas Dackel as he gets a little bit of support along the far boards, and the puck is sent in deep.
We talked about the discipline of the Ottawa Senators. It's very evident even in the way that they change up lines in a hockey game. Second game in 2 nights for Ottawa. Their shifts in the last little while have all been well below 30 seconds. Well, we said that Paul Kariya would have to monitor his ice time. Numbers down perhaps a little bit for Kariya. He played just over 8 minutes in the opening period of play.
Shot is sent wide.
But really not that significant a reduction. So sometimes when you have a flu bug and you get on the ice and you start sweating a little bit, you start to feel a little bit better after a while.
Drop pass on the high slot. Wrist shot caroms off the body of Nicholas Hamilton into the corner. Braddock Bonk glides past the loose puck, as does Paul Kariya. Solani's outlet pass. Picked off Hossa. Tries a second drag move on him, and Solani won't buy into it. Steps around Laukin and looks for Paul Kariya, who had stepped up on the playoff sides.
Well, good play by Jani Laukkanen, who stayed right with Teemu Solani and really forced him, I think, to slow down a little bit through the neutral zone. Anytime as a defenseman you can prevent a player from going directly straight ahead, it means that it gives your back checkers just a split second extra to get back and get involved into the play. And Laukkanen certainly did a nice job of buying some time for the rest of his teammates. Eventually it would be Paul Kariya that would step across the blue line first. 29-year-old Laukkanen has been a real find for the Senators organization.
What a steal in exchange for Brad Larson from the Colorado Avalanche in January '97. Pass out of the reach of Grimson. Redden touches. The result, another icing call against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to play here in the second period.
A good look at Daniel Alfredsson. Plus minus most impressive statistic. Plus 11 for him. Missed 20 games earlier with a torn right MCL. The last 10 games, 16 points for him. He's starting to catch fire. And how often have we said that, Chris, when a player is out of the lineup with a knee injury, it always seems to take him a good 2 or 3 weeks once he's back in the lineup before he really gets his legs back into shape and ready to start being productive once again. And that's been the case with Alfredsson, but boy, have the Senators been hit hard by injuries this year.
Scratches tonight include Rob Zaminer, Sammy Salo, Igor Kravchuk. Face off to the left of goaltender Guy Hebert.
We talked about Alfredsson. The other thing to point out is that, you know, he's such a good defensive player. He's out on the ice against Kariya and Solani most shifts if Jacques Martin can negotiate that matchup. In fact, 6 of the last 7 shifts that Kariya and Solani have been on the ice. So has Daniel Alfredsson.
Pass. Vladislav Cohn coughs it up in the neutral zone. Puck is collected inside his own zone by John Gruden. He'll send cross ice and take a return pass. We're down to 4 minutes to play in the second period. Shots on goal thus far here in the second through 16 minutes of play. 9 for the Ottawa Senators, 3 for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim as we get an offside whistle, and that'll stop the clock.
So another look at Alfredsson. You know, he's kind of an interesting story in the fact that when he arrived on the scene, I don't think the Senators really realized what kind of a player they had. 3 years ago, he was 10th in the National Hockey League with 31 power play goals. Of course, 4 years ago, his rookie season, he captured the Calder Trophy. He's an especially strong player on his skates. And you talk to the people involved with the Ottawa team, and they'll tell you the reason for that is that he just loves to work out. Lives in the gym. Self-proclaimed gym rat when he arrived on the scene, and that is indeed the way he approaches you know, his life and his preparation for this game.
Left side pass, Kariya. Tied up by York in the corner. Donato gets picked out of the play by Andreas Dackel as the Senators send the puck the length of the ice. Olesen wins the foot race against Magnus Arvidsson, and they'll bring it back the other way.
You know, with Paul Kariya, you know, not at 100%, and without Steve Ruch in the lineup, I think we were really wondering how effective Anaheim's top line would be in tonight's game. But they've been pretty effective. Paul Kariya has certainly had some opportunities. That was Teemu Solani's best of the evening, but Eddie Donato has also had a couple of kicks at the can as well. Ted Donato's had a nice season. I think he has given the Ducks everything that they hoped he would give them. Some speed, maybe most importantly, tremendous versatility. He's played both wings. He's played center. He's been on the power play. He assumes a penalty killer's role as well, and they get an awful lot of mileage out of Ted Donato here in Anaheim.
Donato will be on the trigger here. Solani over his left shoulder. That's the design, but he fails to make contact with the puck. Correa steps out to lend a hand. Turnover inside Senator territory. Sent out to center ice where Haviland is willing to take the bump to make the play, but York intercepts and sends cross ice. Puck is worked inside the zone. In the corner, taking the body, Sean Van Allen. He looks for an option, finds one along the near wing boards as Joey Juneau will cough it up to the Ducks, and Paul Carrillo will step around Van Allen in the neutral zone and step up over the blue line of Ottawa. Kevin Holler, lone man back. Hossa on the aggressive forecheck for the Senators as Holler wires a pass right up the middle of the ice, and here comes Solani stepping up, looking for a man in the high slot as a long wrist shot taken by Marshall, who had just climbed over the boards, is batted down. Solani again on the backhand, again a save by Ron Tugnutt as Solani, a man possessed, goes after a loose puck.
Oh, what a shift for Solani, and he's been out on the ice a long time, but you know, it's amazing with Tamo. He can be out on the ice for a minute 20 seconds sometimes, but if that puck comes into his hands when he's in the offensive zone, there's plenty of reserve left.
Solani with two terrific backhand attempts and then still went after a loose puck before being taken out of the play. We're down to 2:05 to go here in the second period. Along the far boards, Alfredson steps up, looks up ice. Pass intended for McKinnon was broken up by Kevin Holler, and Holler will just lob the puck high in the air, but he delivers that pass from his half of the ice surface, and so the result is going to be an icing call against the Mighty Ducks. They'll bring it back the other way.
Ron Tugnutt continues his stellar play in the Ottawa goal crease. Teemu Solani had a couple of point-blank chances, but you see one of the Ottawa players was Laukkanen loses an edge, and look at the inside-out move by Solani. The rebound, that may have been Tugnutt's first short rebound save of the hockey game, and this is an area that Anaheim has to get more involved in. Follow your shots to the net is what coaches always tell their players, and that's what Teemu Solani did on that last sequence, and he was so close to being rewarded.
Face off to the right of his goaltender, Guy Hebert, scoreless duel. Slap shot at the line. Ledyard kicked down by Jeff Nielsen, and that one took a little bit of a bite out of Jeff. He's trying to shake off the effects of it as he applies the forecheck up ice. Cullen steals. Nielsen supports. Banks a pass off the right wing boards, but cutting over to take the angle was Jason York. Through center ice. Senators turn back the other way. Prospel crisscrossing with Alfredson. He gets cut off by Cullen and turns it over to Nielsen. Churning up the right wing board. Nielsen is rubbed out heavily by Grant Ledyard along the far wing. Ledyard intercepts that pass. Cullen intended for Nielsen as it rolls back to the line. Minute 5 seconds to play here in the second period. Nielsen and Cullen working in tandem along the backboard. Trinka steps all the way up from his near point position, but York prevails along the backboard and headmans the Senators through the neutral zone. Prospel delivers the puck in deep. Peek up at the clock. 47 seconds remain in the second period of play. Trinka. Quickly the gap closes in on him, but his errant pass rolls in on goal, and Tugnutt makes the exchange. At center ice, Andreas Dackel chips the puck into an open area. Hopping on it, Magnus Arvidsson looks for a man pinching in off the near point, but there's Paul Correa to cut off John Gruden's flight to a loose puck. Donato works the puck in deep. Solani on the forecheck. Arvidsson greeted by Correa along the far boards as Andreas Dackel looks for an option and finds one at center ice in John Gruden.
A lot of neutral zone play here in the latter parts of this period. You know, both teams very wary of the fact that you don't want to give up a goal late in the period and give some momentum to the to your opponent. Pretty good period needed to pick up the hitting pace here in the third period. I think Craig Hartsburg feels pretty much the same way. Big Jim McKenzie starts on the left wing. Jeff Nielsen starts on the right side. Nielsen has probably attempted to throw more body checks than any other player in a Duck uniform.
Ducks out hit the Sens 9-5 in the opening period. We're out hit in the second 9-6 by Ottawa as the puck is banked off the far boards and sent back inside Anaheim territory. Along with my partner Brian Hayward, our director Aaron Teets, producer Mark Vittorio, and graphics coordinator Rick Lee. I'm Chris Mattson calling the action here at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim as we are going to see our first penalty since the waning moments of the first period at 16:59 when Vinny Prospero was sent off for hooking.
Yeah, John Gruden a little bit slow getting up. Hey, are you a fan? Each game on behalf of Pro Player Sports Apparel, we choose one fan in the stands that represents the spirits of Mighty Ducks hockey. Pro Player Sports Apparel. Are you a fan?
The youngster certainly is, and his Mighty Ducks of Anaheim are going to be down a man for the next 2 minutes, barring another penalty.
Well, they had to come out hitting, but unfortunately for Jeff Nielsen, he hit John Gruden from behind. See, Gruden at the last second kind of squared his shoulders towards the boards just before the moment of impact. It's kind of a tough break for Jeff Nielsen, who was already committed to laying a lick on Gruden. But here's a big moment for this Anaheim penalty killing unit.
The last Ottawa power play was cut short, 1:07. They did not have a single shot on goal as the puck is sent up the wing. And the Senators will break out of their own zone, but first they'll have to contend with the feisty forecheck of Ted Donato. Redden's pass deflects off the heel of Ted Donato and scampers deep inside his own territory. Back to get it. Redden has a wide open man on the wing. Alfredson will chip ahead, but out of the reach of Vinny Prospero. Korea's outlet pass is corralled by Jason Marshall and rattled in on goal. Half a minute gone on this Ottawa Senators power play. Nielsen in the box for Anaheim. With a head of steam, slowed up at center ice. Puck is turned over inside Anaheim territory just momentarily and taken back by the Senators along the backboard. Prospero tried to work it back to the line to Redden, but it was picked up and cleared by McGinnis to the blue line as Cullen steps around his man, and Tugnut will take matters into his own hands.
You know, it's been defense by committee tonight for the Ducks, and I love the way that they are taking advantage of any outnumbered situations they can kind of develop down low.
Braddock bunk on the wraparound, and Guillermo with a push off the right skate is able to cover the left post.
Long talk with Neil Brown earlier this morning about the much maligned penalty killing unit. He said, you know what, a couple of months ago our penalty killing was not strong. We played a game in Detroit. We talked about changing the system up a little bit for that game. We got a lot more passive in the defensive zone. It did not work. The Red Wings scored 3 power play goals. From that day up until now, the Anaheim penalty killing unit is actually a little bit better than 85%, which isn't at the top of the league, but it is respectable. And there have been some stretches during that time where they've been above 90% over a stretch of 10-12 games at a time. So he looks at the penalty killing unit and he said, we are making progress, but it is you know, it's kind of baby steps for the extra man unit. And tonight they've done a good job so far without their best penalty killing player, which is Steve Rutherford.
Oh, look at this, Brian. Puck is chipped into an open area. Here it comes. Korea, a shot and a blocker save by Tugnut. Paul Korea, who leads this club with a couple of shorthanded goals, bidding for another. Drop pass. Donato moves around one man, and from a deep angle, his shot is blocked down by York. But look at Donato play the angle all the way back to Marshall, back at his own blue line.
Yeah, great job by the penalty killers. The old story, best defense is a good offense, and you know, they have been coming up with the shorthanded tallies more and more often, and more often than not, it's because of that tremendous speed and open ice of Paul Korea.
Anaheim markedly improved on the penalty kill here at home as well. Came into this game ranking right smack dab in the middle of the 2018 league, but now at better than 85% overall at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim as the puck is worked out to center ice and the teams are back at full strength. Here comes Nielsen, snapping off a wrist shot, and a kick save by Tugnut is corralled in the corner by Jason York. A very weak clearing attempt is taken back by Oleg Tverdovsky, and he'll work it across to defensive mate Nicholas Hamilton. He steps aside from Kevin Dineen, but his errant pass up the far wing boards is played by the Senators out to center ice. Hartsburg completes a line change as the puck hops over the dasher up into the Ottawa bench.
You know, in this game, both Teemu Selanne and Paul Korea have had their moments. They have been dangerous. Here's the shorthanded opportunity for Korea. Look at the effort by Tony Herkus to pop that puck into an open space. Starts to roll a little bit on Paul, but he still gets an awful lot on the shot. But again, you know, it makes all the difference in the world for a goaltender when there's only one attacker coming at you, because you can cheat out in front of that crease and virtually take away the entire net from the shooter. The all-time leader in shorthanded goals for the Mighty Ducks. No surprise, captain again, Paul Kariya.
Despite being shorthanded during that 2-minute stretch, the Ducks outshot the Ottawa Senators 2-1. Along the near boards, Wade Redden. His outlet pass is chipped into an open area by Andreas Dackel, corralled by Hebert, and back comes Anaheim's Donato. His pass caroms off the toe of the stick of Mike Leclerc, and Redden will look for an option again. Peek over the shoulder for Pavel Trinko with just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the third period. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim will come out with 4 shots on goal. Here comes Solani looking for a fifth, but denied by Jani Laukkanen. Home run pass at the blue line caroms off the toe of the stick of Magnus Arvidsson, and Anaheim quickly counter punches back the other way. Leading the charge, Ted Donato. Surrounded by a sea of red sweaters at the blue line of Ottawa, the Senators prevail and clear back inside Anaheim territory. Jason York backpedaling head up. His bank pass intended for Daniel Alfredson is collected by Nicholas Haviland, and Haviland will just lob the puck high in the air out to center ice. Korea takes the return pass from Ladislav Köln, but watches as it flutters into the corner.
Well, how many times tonight have we seen passes just kind of roll over the tops of players' sticks?
Slap shot by Tverdovsky, hammered into traffic. Vinny Prospel is going to try to hit Sean McEachern on the fly. He does, but a nifty poke check thwarts the play inside Anaheim territory by Nicholas Haviland. Back comes Paul Kariya. Long purpose shot in on goal as he hooks a U-turn back to the Anaheim bench. Johan Davidson is hit hard from behind by John Gruden. Cough it up at the line, Huller. He gives it right back, and the Ottawa Senators' Sean Van Allen will look for support along the left wing boards, doesn't get it.
Yeah, the Ducks starting to hit here again in the third period, and you see the result, Chris. The Senators have been guilty of turning the puck over in the defensive zone here in the third.
And 2 youngsters in particular leading the charge here in that category in the third period. One is Johan Davidson, the other is Mike Leclerc, who just hasn't let up from his first shift of the game. Here comes McInnes. He headmans. Leclerc pulls to the forehand, and a fine recovery on a back-checking play by Marian Hossa to knock him off the puck. Back the other way. Hossa will just lob the puck in the near corner. Jacques Martin wants to change up his forward. On the wing, McKenzie. Johan Davidson plays back to McKenzie, and with a man draped all over him, he muscles the puck up ice inside Ottawa territory, but just momentarily. Oh my. Frederick Olofsson just teed one up off the ankle of Andreas Dackel, and Dackel is having all types of difficulty making his way back over to the Ottawa bench.
Well, looking at the numbers for Freddie Olofsson tonight through a couple of periods of play. Olofsson just over 12 minutes. There you see Andreas Dackel. Boy, he goes right into the Ottawa locker room. They've never come up with any kind of a skate system yet in the National Hockey League that really protects the top of the foot. And it is obviously the most vulnerable area as a player moves out to block a shot. But you see those laces tied off the tight. There's really just a strip of leather and maybe 3/8 of an inch of felt underneath the tongue of the skate. Not much when you've got that puck firing at you. It speeds upwards of 100 miles an hour.
Loose puck is played up the far boards by Patrick Travers, picked off at the line by McKenzie, but the Senators prevail and play the puck into an open area. On the backhanded eye was Magnus Arvidsson. I'll tell you, for a team playing their second game inside of 24 hours, the Senators certainly are showing us here tonight that they are a well-conditioned hockey club.
No question about it. They've got young legs, too, in that lineup. They're a pretty young hockey club.
In the high slot, opportunity down low. Tverdovsky kicked aside at the defense, and the Senators recover a loose puck, and turning back the other way comes Sean McEachern. Weaving to the outside, he throws a shot in on goal, and Hebert steers to the side with the heel of his stick. 24-19 shots on goal advantage for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Kariya corrals a loose puck on the wing. He'll send the puck into the corner. Perfect carom to Teemu Selanne as he leaves for Tverdovsky at the base of the circle. Redden is there to recover for Ottawa.
Look at the way the Senators move that puck out of the defensive zone. D to D and right onto the tape more often than not.
Back the other way comes Korea. Weaving to the blue line, looking for Selanne, sneaking in behind the defense. A fine recovery there by John Gruden as he plays the puck out to center ice. Here comes Selanne with a head of steam. He winds, he cranks a shot upstairs, and that one may have caught Tugnut in the melon. Boy, did that get there in a hurry.
Selanne with a full head of steam for the neutral zone. That was an absolute bomb of a shot. I mean, Ron Tugnut is a very, very quick goaltender, but he had no time to react. And you're right, he took it right off the forehead.
Teemu Selanne put it up on a D, and he leans into this one on Fox Sportsnet 2.
Well, some people think that the advances in protective equipment are part of the reason why goaltenders are so much better these days. Well, you want to believe that Ron Tugnut is very thankful for that little piece of fiberglass that he wears in front of his forehead, because, I mean, that was a bomb of a shot. Can you even imagine how those goalkeepers played without masks? And it wasn't that long ago. It was only 30 years ago, Chris. They were still a netminder in the National Hockey League named Andy Brown, who was playing without a mask.
Well, many thanks to Jacques Plante. The puck is delivered out to center ice. Spin around the move inside his own zone, Patrick Travers. And the puck is delivered back in behind the net. Guillermo will work it free into the corner, and Kevin Haller can't corral a bouncing puck as a turnaround attempt out of nowhere by Marian Hossa sails wide.
There's also been a little bit of a movement afoot from some of the more offensive players in the NHL to bring back the unlimited curve on the stick.
Oh my. Backhand shot denied. Can you imagine how that would change the game if that came back?
Might open it up. See a lot of strange looking shots coming away with those big curves, that's for sure. Good opportunity here for Anaheim. Radek Bonk heads to the penalty box. It's a slashing penalty levied against Bonk. Jacques Martin looks down his bench to get his penalty killers over the boards, but there's the slash right there. And those are the types of penalties that drive coaches and players nuts, because, you know, Bonk gave him a slash. It was Ladislav Kona was the puck carrier. And let's just leave it and say he didn't catch him in a real sensitive area. He actually slashed him across the pants. Makes a big noise if you're down there at ice level. That's what the referee usually hears. It doesn't hurt the player one bit. And for that, Bonk sits in the box for the next couple of minutes.
And a golden opportunity is staring Teemu Selanne and the Mighty Ducks square in the face. The Ducks' first power play since the final 3 minutes of the opening period. Marty McGinnis, who's been at better than 66% in the circle here in this hockey game, loses this draw as it's batted aside by Andreas Deckel, and he'll play off the far wing. Boards and Aber will corral and lead for Olsen.
Previous power plays, Anaheim had relative little difficulty getting the puck into Ottawa territory, getting set up.
Along the back board. Selanne looking, pounded by York. Loose puck picked out of the pack by McGinnis and wired back to the line to Korea. Olsen will work the puck in on the hard around, and Selanne taking advantage of the pick set there by Mike Leclerc. Leaves the puck in the right offensive corner. Turnaround shot by Olsen, swatted aside. Opportunity cranked upstairs, and this one goes way up into the crowd.
But again, I like the intent and the power play, obviously. You know, when the message is sent by the coaching staff to put every puck that's in shooting position on the goal, you know what happens? Players away from the puck start getting to the front of the net a split second quicker. And that's always good news. Right. A lot of white jerseys surrounding Ron Tugnut. But so far tonight, the bounces haven't really gone in favor of any of the forwards for the Mighty Ducks down low. There have been a few rebounds that have been in the area, but it always seems to be a couple of feet out of the reach.
Right now, the Ducks getting set for a draw that will take place just atop the right circle as Teemu Selanne motions over to the officials that he's having a problem with his stick. He'd like to be given the opportunity to go to retrieve a new one. Teemu biding his time, makes his way over to the Anaheim bench.
I'd like to make a point. We talked about Steve Ruchin and what it means to not have him in the face-off circle for the Ducks. Marty McGuinness has been the real leader in terms of winning draws tonight for Anaheim. He's won 6 of 9. As for the other Anaheim centers, they have won only 11 of 33 face-offs.
Prevails again, slap shot, tipped just wide as Tugnut was fully extended. Solani looks back to the line, slap shot, Olsen, and Tugnut fanned out to just get a toe on it. He doesn't know where that puck is at. It came to rest along the far boards and was cleared the length of the ice by Daniel Alfredson. 50 seconds and ticking remaining on this Anaheim power play. Correa gears up over the line, looking for a man crashing the net, and it was just a tad too far behind Solani. Out of the corner, Solani dishing to Correa. On the doorstep, they jam the net, and it was denied at the defense. A terrific read there by Patrick Travers. Top of the circle, McGuinness tries to step around Travers, doesn't see an avenue. Return pass from Olsen. He's running out of room. Is deflected by Sean Van Allen into the corner. And Mike Leclerc will look for a little bit of support along the back wall. Solani with it. 15 seconds left on the power play. Slap shot. Chipped right through the crease. Swatted high in the air by Van Allen. He just got worked over in the corner by Mike Leclerc. And Van Allen is down in a heap.
Leclerc's the wide body on the power play unit. They like that physical presence down low, primarily because he goes to the front of the net and he's a load to try and move out of there. But he had Sean Van Allen in a real vulnerable position. Van Allen appeared to have his head down, digging for a loose puck near the boards. And Leclerc just ran right over the top. Let's see if we can pick it up. Puck up in the air. He was actually reaching up for the puck. And Sean Van Allen holds his head. He has had some problems with concussions in Ottawa. And I don't know if it was the shoulder or the elbow that made contact originally with Van Allen. He appears to be all right now. We'll wait for the referee's decision. Probably going to be a 2-minute elbowing penalty, I would imagine, against Leclerc.
Well, you see Jacques Martin looking up at the clock. He's looking for an indication from downstairs as they're about to make the official announcement. See if we can pick up the infraction again.
You know what? It's going to be coincidental boarding call. There's the original call against Mike Leclerc. And then the puck sits along the boards. There goes Leclerc after it. And watch Jani Laukkanen come in from behind. You saw Teemu Solani hit the ice hard next to Sean Van Allen. Jani Laukkanen was the Ottawa player that hit Solani from behind. And Kerry Fraser gave both Laukkanen and Leclerc a penalty. And I think that's a huge break for the Mighty Ducks. They maintain the man advantage here, although they only got 5 seconds remaining in the original Ottawa penalty.
So Leclerc gets the gate, as does Laukkanen. Time of the boarding calls 10 minutes 18 seconds. So the clubs will still skate 5-4 for the next 5 seconds.
You know what? I like that play by Mike Leclerc. You know, hockey's supposed to be a fierce, tough, physical game, and especially in a game where you're playing against a team that's just sitting back there, not much going on. They're really playing for the tie, waiting for you to make a mistake. You get a guy in a position where you can really drill him. Why not drill him? Try and force a reaction from the Senators. Hold him out of that shell.
That's been the kind of game that Mike Leclerc has brought here tonight all game long as the puck is coughed up in the neutral zone, and here comes Arvidsson in over the line. He gets dragged down by Tverdowski. Turn it over. Back the other way comes McGuinness looking for some room. Back to Davidson to McGuinness. Driving to the net. Cone looking up the slot. And on the backhand, a shot is gloved by Ron Tugnut, and he will hang on. But the Ducks continue to buzz around goaltender Ron Tugnut. Plenty of action when we return with more on Fox Sportsnet 2.
While the Ducks continue to aggressively drive to the front of the net, Marty McGuinness slips it into the middle. There's Johan Davidson, but it's McGuinness that rolls off the check. Boy, again, Ladislav Cone's in the right place, but that puck is just about a foot away from where it needed to be for Cone to sweep it home.
Ducks with a 3-1 shots on goal advantage in the period. 9-3 overall as the puck is picked up at center ice, and Alfredsson will spot a wide open man at his own blue line. Travers sends into traffic. Alfredsson helps out to Prospel, shooting, he scores! Vinny Prospel snaps off a wrist shot from the base of the near circle and beats goaltender Guy Hebert for a 1-0 Senator lead.
You know, I was reading the article about Vinny Prospel that said that he has never played better at any stage of his NHL career. A quick little snapshot. Seems to, I don't know if it went over or under the catching glove of Guy Hebert. Here's the shot by Prospel. Yeah, just over top of the catching hand of Hebert. He got an awful lot on that one. The Senators get the go-ahead goal in this game. Now, I guarantee you they are going to be sitting back, lining up across the blue line. And the Ducks better get it into the back of their minds right now that they're going to have to dump that puck in and go in after it, forecheck to get it back.
Well, the numbers would certainly support your statement, Brian. For Prospel, that is his 10th goal. This is his 40th game. Last year, he set a career high with 10 goals in 79 games. And the Senators now with a 1-0 advantage with 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in regulation time.
You know, the knock on Prospel has always been that he doesn't really shoot the puck very well. His father was an elite centerman in the Czech elite leagues for years, and his dad always said that for a centerman, the priority has got to be on faceoffs and passing. And so he plays with a fairly straight stick, not a big curve like a lot of the other forwards in the NHL.
Vinny Prospel's 10th of the year from Daniel Alfredsson and Sean McEachern at 11:29 of the third period. Breaks the goose eggs on the board. And the Senators bidding for another step up over the Anaheim blue line. Bonk snaps off a wrist shot, and this time Guy Hebert in perfect position to snare it.
Boy, Radek Bonk got an awful lot in that little snapshot. And boy, did he ever use, who was Nicholas Havelit, as an effective screen against Hebert. I think that was actually a tougher shot from Bonk than the Prospel goal was. Good year for Bonk, 34 points. Named earlier today to the world team for the 2000 All-Star game. That's a nice accolade for him. But watch what Bonk does right here. There's Havelit defending. He's going to throw it just next to the body and the leg. But it appeared that that puck was really ticketed for the upper left-hand corner. Nice stop by Hebert.
Bonk, a former first-round pick, 3rd overall in 1994. Hitting his stride now in his 6th season with the Ottawa Senators. At the blue line. Puck is worked aside by Patrick Travers. Anaheim trailing 1-0 in the game. Send the puck in deep. Tugnutt. A little bit of miscommunication. Worms his way out of trouble as the puck is sent to the high slot on a slap shot by McGinnis. Caught a body. Right offensive corner attempt here by Johan Davidson is left in deep. Marty McGinnis on the dig for Anaheim, looking for a player cutting through the crease, and it caught his own man, Ladislav Cohn.
Ottawa really in the defensive zone, sagging down low, taking away, everything below the hash marks. The Mighty Ducks may want to start using their points a little bit more often when they do have clear possession offensively.
Senators have given up the 4th fewest goals in the Eastern Conference, coming into this game 106 in 42 previous encounters. Slap shot shanked. Look out here. Partial breakaway up the ice. It comes moving in on goal. Hebert comes out to challenge. And what a terrific kick save on the shot by Alfredsson. Loose puck in the corner. Sent up ice by Tony Herkis. He's greeted by another 15 and Sean McEachern. Turnaround attempt thwarted by Herkis again as he sends up the wing, and the Senators are forced back to the neutral zone.
Nicholas Havelit was being forced to play without benefit of a hockey stick, and usually the forwards will hand the stick back to the guy in that situation, but with the Ducks trailing by a goal, Korea Solani a little bit reluctant to do that.
Along the backboards, York takes the body. McKenzie kicks at a loose puck as Radek Bonk is there to strip him of it. And again, with players pitching, here comes Arvidsson looking for support on the follow-up to Marian Hossa, and it just hopped over his McKenzie. In over the line, Cullen back to McKenzie. He was underled. Outlet pass. Arvidsson picked off Marshall. He cranks a shot in the direction of Ron Tugnutt. Never made it through as it was batted down by Grant Ledyard. Down to 5.5 minutes to play, third period. Senators leading 1-0 on Vinny Prospel's 10th goal of the year at 11:29 of this third period.
Ottawa defense really disciplined here in the third period, Chris. I mean, they're not even showing an interest in joining the attack at this point. Both guys hanging back. They are not going to get caught up ice.
It's that discipline that has made Ottawa the 5th best team in the Eastern Conference as the puck is headmanned in the direction of Johan Davidson and batted right back into the neutral zone by the Senators.
And remember again, 5th best team in the Eastern Conference despite having more injuries than any other team in the Eastern Conference. So that's a real tribute to this club and to the depth that they've put together in that organization.
And let's not forget they lost a player that had 94 points last year in Alexei Yashin as well.
Very good point.
Along the near boards, Tverdovsky steps around McEachern. Tverdovsky looking for an option. He'll find one on the wing. Cohn wires a pass over to Haviland, and he'll just play the puck into an open area. We're down to 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Correa hops over the boards, turns it over. McGinnis beelines to the bench, and Ted Donato gearing up from his own blue line spots Correa on the wing. Pass intended for Solani. Followed up, Donato snaps off a wrist shot on a kick save by Tugnut. Anaheim has outshot the Senators 29-24 on the night. Frederick Olesen with Arvidsson in the vicinity. Sends right up the middle of the ice. Opportunity for Correa as he glides to the middle of the surface. Broken up at the blue line by Ottawa, and back the other way comes Magnus Arvidsson. Hossa follows up the pass on the near corner. Plays to the backboard. He's surrounded by white sweaters as Teemu Solani, Pavel Trinka, and Ted Donato gang up on him. And Solani will turn back the other way for Anaheim. Inside Ottawa territory. Solani tried to work it ahead to Ted Donato, who is broken up and muscled out to center ice as Donato slows up his man, but what a terrific effort by Joey Juneau to take down the clock and work the puck up ice.
Boy, it gives you an idea of what a good club this is. Joey Juneau signed as an unrestricted free agent during the offseason. It's hardly played in this hockey game. I'm hard-pressed to remember hearing Joey Juneau's name more than 2 or 3 times in the entire game.
At center ice, McKenzie turns it over in the neutral zone. Prospel looking for support, finds McEachern. He chops a shot upstairs, and Hebert just waved at him. 2:40 to play in the game. As the Senators at their own blue line send off the wing. McKenzie intercepts and steps up over the line. Cullen hops into the hole, back to McKenzie on the backhand, and a save by Tugnut. Loose puck swatted at twice by McKenzie, and Tugnut will cover. So the difference in the game provided moments ago when Prospel snapped this shot off. It's a 1-0 Senator lead.
A good forechecking rush by Anaheim. They come oh so close. Jim McKenzie rolls off a check, then goes to the front of the net, gets it on the backhand side, and it just kind of sits there in front of Ron Tugnut. And you see guys wearing white jerseys whacking away at it, but nobody can make contact.
Senators trying to escape the ranks of Nashville, Atlanta, and the New York Rangers as clubs that have never won a game in this building. Right now they lead 1-0 as Radek Bonkel on the backboard just shrugs off Ladislav Cohn and leaves the puck in the right offensive corner. Hebert wants to cover a loose puck, and he does with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to play in regulation time.
Well, the clock right now is Craig Hartsburg's worst enemy. 2:07 remaining. And you know, at what point do you green light both of your defensemen and say, well, we got to start gambling? If we're going to break through this wall of Ottawa Senators lined up along the blue line, they may have to do something radical here towards the end. 2:07 remaining. We'll keep an eye on not only the Senators, but certainly goaltender Guy Hebert perched back in that Anaheim crease.
Last year, these two clubs split the season series a tie apiece. Tonight, the Senators trying to pull out the brooms and pull off the sweep. As Ladislav Cohn's left swinging pass is just out of the reach of Mike LeClaire, and the Senators in the neutral zone will throw it right back inside Anaheim territory. We're down to 1:45 to go in this game. Trinka's wide side pass. McGinnis Steps up over the blue line, but way in ahead of the play was Ladislav Cohn, and we'll get an offside whistle at the blue line.
Tough break to go offside when you're on a rush, trailing late in the game. Our Gatorade player of the game tonight, not much doubt about this one. Ron Tugnut has been sensational. Made all the right saves, and he's done a pretty good job handling the puck down low. 31 stops so far for Tugnut. 1:42 remaining in this one. This may have been his best. Same with Solani, point blank. Mike LeClaire had a couple of beauties. Solani in the second will get absolutely robbed on the rebound. And another member of Anaheim's top line, Ted Donato, also had his opportunities to score. But about Tugnut tonight. Very little wasted movement. Very efficient game for him.
Well, earlier in the telecast, we pointed out how Tugnut had struggled mightily in his last 3 outings. In fact, in his last start back on the 8th against Buffalo, he allowed 5 goals on 19 shots and was replaced by Patrick Lalime at the start of the 3rd period. And of course, Tugnut took the loss. Hebert has made his way to the bench. Slap shot, tipped down Rude, and a loose puck is corralled by the Senators and cleared. They have an empty net up ice. Marian Hossa with Haviland working him over, drives it on goal and salts this one away into an empty net.
Huge goal for Marian Hossa, but I tell you what, not only was Ron Tugnut great tonight, he also got a little bit fortunate. The last play for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, Tugnut was just spinning around in that crease and it just hit him. Watch Correa throw this puck down low. It deflects off an Ottawa player. Probably had about 3 feet of room in between the legs of Ron Tugnut. Went all the way over and bounced off the far left leg of the goalkeeper. Nicholas Haviland, overpowered by Marian Hossa. But here's another look at that save by Tugnut. Puck goes down, and look at how widespread the legs are of Tugnut. All kinds of room. The puck easily could have carried him in between his pads. Instead, just happened to hit him.
So Marian Hossa gets credit for the empty net goal. Time of the goal at the 19-minute mark. Travers will pick up the lone assist as the Senators, leading 2-0, flood the zone and simply have Anaheim just locked up inside their own blue line. Cullen sends to center ice as it's worked up the wing. Jim McKenzie tries to ward off a bump from behind. Entering the fray was Cullen, and a chop shot taken here by Tverdovsky is blocked down, and Jason York will corral a loose puck. Churning back to get it, Pavel Trinket. And as he touches, just 6 seconds remain in this hockey game. Coming up after the game on Fox Sports News Prime Time, another tragic day in professional sports. They'll have reaction. Plus NBA highlights, Lakers and Bucks, Clippers and Celtics. That's all coming up immediately following the game on Fox Sports News Prime Time.
Ron Tugnut knows with only 6 seconds to play, this one salted away, with the exception of the shutout, of course. But it's been quite a night for Tugnut. And as you mentioned, coming off 3 subpar performances, Tugnut threw a beauty out there on the ice in tonight's game. You know, this is going to be a strange one for Anaheim, because overall I thought Anaheim played a pretty good game. In terms of quality scoring chances, they held a decided advantage over the Senators. They just can't finish. And the inability to score goals has really been hurting this team over the course of the past month or so. But they got to stick to the program here, because overall a very solid performance, but they just can't seem to buy a goal at this stage in the regular season.
And so Ron Tugnut tosses the shutout at his former mates, kicking aside all 32 shots on goal. The Senators have won 5 straight games on the road. With the loss, the Mighty Ducks fall to 18-20-5 on the year with a regulation tie, 42 points. They'll continue the homestand Friday night against the St. Louis Blues. And so, goals tonight registered by Prospel and Hossa, both coming here in the 3rd period of play, and the Senators prevail by a final score of 2-0. We remind you our coverage of the Blues-Ducks showdown on Friday night begins at 7 with Ducks on ice. And so for Brian Hayward, I'm Chris Mattson saying so long, everybody, from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim.